We go. So, hello everyone, welcome back to one of the very fresh and engaging episode of Grow with Anshuman. And today I'm sitting with someone very special whom I literally wanted to talk with so long because I have been doing this conversational podcast in a way wherein I'm helping people to grow personally. But one thing was lacking where people often ask me that, Anshuman, tell me how do I excel at my professional communication? So here we go. Today I got Vipul with us. Hi Vipul, how are you doing today?
Hey everyone. So first of all, thanks a lot for this warm welcome that I've received. I don't think I deserve an inch of it, but yeah, thanks for being so kind.
All right. So Vipul, even
And
before
yeah, before
starting,
we go ahead, cheers to
yep.
the effort that you make to bring in people. I won't say not just me, but even other people for the audience that you cater to. It takes, I know it's a far-fetched thing for many people, and it takes a big heart to do it for other people. So thanks a lot for doing that for the people that you're doing.
Mine
Good
pleasure.
job.
Thank you for your comment. However, before even we begin, I would like you to just quickly introduce yourself so that even learner can better understand that hey, you are making a hype, or let me understand what people does.
Sure, sure. I don't
Yep.
know. I think you have made a lot of hype around me now. So we'll begin with a short one. I'll not
Yep.
keep it a really long introduction. My
Hmm.
name is Vipul, as it is known to the world that you live in. I have been a communication skills coach for the last 8 to 9 years. I have taken over 30K online and offline sessions so far. And I think that's just a number I'm not so proud of. There'll be a higher number in the future. I have had the privilege to have been able to speak with people who sit at significant positions. There are not just people who sit in the ministries, but at the same time, I have got the chance to cater to people who work at substantial positions in the corporates as well, say CTOs, CEOs, CFOs. Most of the people appear on the sessions. And I think I'm just privileged enough that I've been able to speak with them. So today, if I have done justice to my introduction, yeah, I think I missed one part that was that I started my journey as a writer for the Times of India. I did contribute a few articles here and there. That did give me some recognition, but not the money that I wanted. So at the end, you have to pay your bills too. For that, I had to switch my career. It never felt like a switch because it was something that I always wanted to do.
Hmm.
Always the teachers that came really close to my heart were my English teachers.
Okay.
I got some of the best ones, and I don't know what was wrong with the mathematics ones, but yeah, something was. So yeah, but kudos to everyone who has helped me to be here with whatever I know, I'm just passing on to the people that I meet. So that's about
Got
me.
it. Got
I
it.
hail
Love.
from Haldwani city, Uttarakhand. Nainital is the district,
Oh,
mm, and a proud Indian. Yeah.
lovely. Loving the introduction. You mentioned so many things now. The things are being too much into the plate. However, I would like to understand one thing before we begin. Before that, do you specifically train people to speak better or to communicate better?
It started off from the first one. Now I have reached the second one. So it did start with that traditional spoken English class.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I started training people, especially students, school going
Okay.
students. My journey started with an organization where I started as just a backend guy who used to produce content for the team
Okay.
and would just make the printouts happen. I'm really happy to share it now. I was really embarrassed long time back. But yes, I think all of it has contributed in whatever I have done so far. So yeah, I did start it off by just producing content and taking out printouts, giving it to the actual trainers of the organization. It resulted into something good. I kept on looking at the professional sheets. I kept on looking at the way people spoke, and just one thing that I believe in is called steal like an artist. So
Correct.
I have just done that. I've taken different things from different people and have made my own style of speaking. I'm not one of those who speaks a lot in public. Public in the sense when I'm paid and when I'm asked to speak in public, I do that.
Okay.
But you won't see me speaking a lot in parties and all of that because I'm just tired of speaking by the day. So I just want to keep quiet by the night.
Okay.
So that's a bit about me. Yes. So my journey started with spoken English
Mm-hmm.
and train people on behavioral skills as well. I have trained students on how to not just gain good marks, but how to be a better human being in general, anger management, money management. We have introduced such concepts in many schools, CBSE schools over here in our surroundings. And then came a point when I felt, let's take the reins in my own hands. And I started my own thing where I started contributing sessions on different platforms as a freelancer.
Okay.
Yes, they did make me something, and I did become something better than what I was before. Then I started taking sessions on my own. I produce some content these days. I do some content creation. Even I run a YouTube channel with the name English with People because I recently changed the name. So I'm not so sure whether that's the actual name or not. But yes,
Mhm.
Speak English with People. I hope you'll add the link over here.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, that's almost everything that I do. My entire day goes almost in taking sessions, 15, 16 sessions a day. And after that, whatever time I get, I try to contribute into some content. So many people cannot afford the fee. So I try to help them on my YouTube and
I
on my
appreciate
Instagram.
that. I
That's I
appreciate
do.
that. Having said that, you
Yeah.
do have tight schedule, though you try to create content for free. That is really appreciable. However, a quick
It's
question for
also
you,
for my
Bipul.
own publicity. It's also for my own publicity. So
Yeah,
no
obviously,
question.
like you would get the word of mouth and people would recognize you more. Cool.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
hope that happens.
I
Hmm.
mean, I would like to understand from you, Bipul, who has started his journey from spoken English, and recently you figured out, no, communication is something which is far vivid from spoken thing because that is a
Yeah,
language
it happened.
specific thing, right?
The change happened almost 5 to 6 years back. So I had realized it too early in my career that spoken English is something which will limit you to only tier three, tier two cities. If you want to penetrate the tier one cities and that market, you will have to speak about communication because the more you say is the less you speak. So
Right.
it's not about the number of words, it's about what kind of words you're using. And it's not also about fancy vocabulary. It's more
Correct.
towards communication. Like if you are able to convey something,
Mm-hmm.
not to impress, but to express. So that's what my belief is. I'm sorry I'm cutting you a lot in between, but I want it
No
to be a
problem.
really
No
generic
problem.
conversation. I hope it's
Exactly. That's what even I was expecting to have two-way
great.
conversation where I can ask questions and get to know you more better so that people would learn a lot. Anyways,
Why not?
I mean, one thing I would like to understand from you people, since you are being into this communicational thing so long, so how do you rate someone? Let's suppose somebody comes to you and asks that people, I literally wanted to know whether I'm a good communicator or not. So what and all questions would you ask and how do you judge a people that he or she is lacking? Because why am this question? I'll just give you quick context. This time people say it's that if I cannot speak English, they feel that I'm not a good communicator. For me, like, it doesn't make that sense because that is more language specific. So I believe you are the right person to ask this question to. Go ahead.
Perhaps I am, but yeah, I'll agree with what you have just said.
Mm-hmm.
Communication goes beyond a language. I would like to start with that statement. Even for a long time in my life, in my career as a professional, I used to think that it's all spoken English. You speak some enchanting words, people come into your side, and then the ball is in your court. You can do things. No, it does not happen with that. And communication is beyond words. Communication is beyond languages. Communication is also non-verbal. Some kind of communication that not many people care about. The usage of hands. There was a time when I used to be on the stage and I tie my hands behind my back, and I would be completely nervous. Whatever I said made sense, but people would not even look at me. Why? Because I was shivering while speaking.
True.
So the usage of hands, eye contact, gesture, expressions, everything counts. So it goes beyond just one language, it goes beyond words, it goes beyond languages, it goes beyond the fact that humans can speak. So it goes beyond everything. Communication is much bigger than English or any other language for that matter. That's what I think about. And so, coming to your basic question, that was how do I judge people? Is instead of asking a lot of questions, I first of all give them an open playing ground where they just keep speaking
Okay.
because they need someone who can listen to them. Instead of asking them crappy questions, I give them a lot of time where they can spend and they can just vent out whatever they have because they never get that opportunity. The problem
True.
in India is you may not get the right medicines, but you can always get unsolicited advice.
Right.
So people keep waiting. You say, I have stomachache. People say, oh, go for this medicine. Go for that. Don't
Correct.
eat this. Don't do that. I think better listen to people. When you listen to people, and that's what therapists also do. I'm not one, but I've learned a lot from them. Psychologists or therapists, they do not tell you a solution. They tell you how you can reach a solution on your own by asking you the right questions only when you're done speaking. So I let them speak. I let them speak for as much time as possible. So there is something called a diagnosis call that I do with my learners.
Mm-hmm.
When someone approaches me, they want to improve upon their communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
I never tell them I have a 3 months program, 6 months program. That comes really late. It is more about understanding what they're going through, the pain, the problem statement. It's not just about not getting right words at the right time. That is the core issue with most of them. But the real issue is the fear that they face. How many times has their leg been pulled in a meeting? The thing that they have gone through. I want to understand their pain first. Only then you find a motivator from their talks. Do
Correct.
you know, most of the times the problem why people quit speaking better or why people quit their training in between is because their motivation is really shallow. So many people, especially, I would not say it's just women, but even for men, it is the same. Many men just come for the next promotion. People, I want to be the vice president of my
True.
organization.
True.
Make me one. I can't turn you into something. I can just tell you where you're lacking and you have to work on that. Right. Many women come to me, working women and also homemakers, they come to me and they say, Vipul, whenever I go to this parent teacher meeting of my child, I feel so embarrassed. The teacher speaks in English and I can't even utter a single word. I am completely frozen at that moment. I say, fine, like that's, I can teach you 10 sentences. You'll sound better in the next meeting. But then what? Then you go to your kitty party, there you struggle again. Then you go to your office meeting, you struggle again. Will you speak different English for different venues? You can't do that. So
Correct.
you should work on communication in general, than working on situations. So I try to tell them, first of all, get a better motivation. I tell them, wait for a
Hmm.
week before we start these sessions. You find a better motivation for yourself. I can give you 10, but you find your own motivation. The
True.
time when they have their own motivation, I don't think, I'm sorry, not to give any hate to anyone. I don't believe in the concept of motivational talking. It's from within. It's just like a painkiller when you listen to a famous personality, not to name anyone, but there are people doing a great job. But I see them just injecting that painkiller in the minds of people. It suppresses your pain for a bit, but then what? After half an hour, you're back into your same life. You know that some XYZ is not going to come to find a result for you. So my perception is to first of all understand their pain, picking up their pain, telling them that is their motivation. That is,
Hmm.
you don't have to show it to anyone.
Hmm.
Another thing that goes wrong in our society is the fact, and I try to set that record straight with people. I'm sorry, I'm extending my answer. We can go for a long time, don't
Yep.
worry.
Yep.
It is that they say, people, I want to speak in a manner where I shut people. Where I shut people. They want to shut people. I don't know why, but in our culture, we want to dominate
Hmm.
others.
Hmm.
You should not. Your communication should be in such a manner that you can make 10 other people speak with you,
Correct.
then shutting them. Why do we have to dominate? So these are two, three things that I'd like to assess. And only people who really want to improve on their communication skills, I go for one-on-one sessions with them. I don't like to chase people. People who are going to watch me, they are going to agree with me that I never chase people. I tell them, if you have this, if you can do this, what I tell you, only then come for the sessions. So these are a few things that I ask people. I just try to see how motivated they are. Do they have a good reason to learn it or not?
Hmm.
So for me, that matters more than these problems. I have a comma issue. Hardly matters. All of that can be resolved.
Understood.
Motivation cannot be resolved. That is the problem.
Got
Okay.
it.
So I like to
Got it.
understand that. Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Diagnosing is one of the best approach before. Like you mentioned, very good example. Like
Mm.
sometimes we are having headache and we get some other medicines probably because of this generic advices what usually we get from YouTube and other stuff too, right? We don't have enough
My
context
headache
about
can
the
be
people.
my headache can be far different from your headache. We need to understand that, but people
True.
don't recognize.
True, true. However, in general, Vipul, if I'll have to ask you that if somebody is sitting at home and wanted to assess their communication in general, how do they can do it? Like, there is any framework to assess their communication in general without going to any of the person?
Yeah,
Maybe they
I'll
do have a
say
good friends, some
there
traits.
are 2
Mm-hmm.
lakh videos already made on this,
Mm-hmm.
where people tell you how to check yourself.
Yeah.
See, I have X amount of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
I can only check X amount of problems. I can't check Z amount of problems. To check Z amount of problems, I'll have to upgrade my knowledge to Z. I hope you
Yep.
agree with me on
Yep.
that.
Yep.
So, a person, I don't say that people cannot assess themselves on their own.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like thinking I can treat my own cancer. That's impossible. You'll have to go to an oncologist to get that done, right?
True.
So the issue is, people feel they always need a teacher or they always need a speaking partner.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can result to a doomsday, because if you don't find the right one, they may end up suggesting you some wrong things. And it's easy to learn, Anshuman, but it is almost impossible to unlearn. So if
Correct.
I tell you, forget the way you add two numbers and I teach you a Vedic mathematics method, you will learn the Vedic mathematics method. You will never
True.
forget the method that you learned in your school.
Hmm.
The problem is of unlearning. So construction calls for a lot of destruction. When people join my course, most of the times they have this complaint in the initial 15 days.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of my time goes in telling them that in the first 15 days, you will feel you are better off. You're doing better before these sessions, because we are destructing a previously made concept. It is going to be a hard thing. Tooth extraction always pains, no matter how
Correct.
much of anesthesia you give it, right? It
Correct.
always pains just because you are extracting something out of your body. right? So
Hmm.
the same happens with communication. If you are debunking a few myths, people don't like change, but they want to change. So the process of change is a little hard. And that's what I try to do. I try to tell them that the first 15 days are going to be like that. So if people have to self assess themselves
Mm-hmm.
with whatever knowledge they have, they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
The way that I respect, I saw a video on the internet and I found it there. So
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the way that guy explained. I've forgotten the name.
Mm-hmm.
I should give you credit and I should tell you the fact that I have not coined it in my backyard. Nothing has been coined in my backyard. I think all of us steal like an artist, as I said in the beginning.
True.
So that technique is so interesting. It said that if you're
Mm-hmm.
working on your communication and not just your spoken English, so you should assess yourself in at least two methods. I'll give you that age-old technique of recording yourself on the camera. You have to do it. But just recording and evaluating are two different things. If you record and let it be, who cares, right? But what you have to do is once you record yourself, and if you do not have anyone competent enough to check you,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, don't send those videos to anyone who is not competent enough. There are many people who pretend to be, but they're not. So don't send it to someone who is incompetent because they may just. I may sound a little harsh right now, but I'm telling you the truth. It gets very difficult for a trainer later to unlearn a few concepts on the minds of their learners. So that is one. So what should they do is they should record themselves, and the first evaluation that they should do should be without even looking at their face. Play the audio in complete, and then just listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
Do not even look at your face. If without even looking at your face, you close your eyes and you can see yourself speaking right in front of you, you are doing justice with your voice. If you are not able to imagine yourself with your closed eyes and you're
Mm-hmm.
listening to yourself, you can't imagine yourself speaking, how you are looking, how
Okay.
your mouth is, how your expressions are your hands moving or not? If you can't do that, then you have not done justice with your voice. RJs, radio jockeys, listen to them. We can't see them. We have
Correct.
imagined a face for them. We have imagined a face for them.
True.
We haven't seen so many RJs, but we know how they are smiling, how they are laughing, because they create that texture in their voice. That is intonation, that is tonality, that is something that people call voice modulation these days.
Correct.
That is one. Second level of assessment has to be when you mute yourself and
Mm-hmm.
you just look at yourself speaking. This may sound crazy, but you're not even listening to yourself. You just put the volume down,
Mm-hmm.
completely down,
Mm-hmm.
mute yourself, and then just look at yourself. With just looking at yourself with your bodily gestures, do you think you are making things explanatory to others? If your gestures are so easy to understand, for example, if someone is speaking like this is dominating. A person who is a CEO can afford to do this. An executive cannot. There, you have to be receptive. This. Even from the way you shake your hand, shake the hand of the other person. I would never hire someone who has this handshaking style if I'm hiring people for a public dealing job. I need a receptor, someone who
Correct.
has the habit of taking the hand in their hands. I would hire this guy for a sales job because I
Mm.
need someone who can dominate well.
Correct.
I would hire this when I'm hiring a politician. If I'm training a politician, I would want him to shake the hand like this because they have to be
Quality.
confusing. So just kidding. But
Yeah.
yeah, the two
Yeah.
kinds about
Mm.
being receptive and being dominating. So it's not that this guy is bad. This guy
Mm-hmm.
is bad for public dealing job where you have to perhaps grievance handling. That's where I don't want this guy. I want this guy at that time. So
Got
body
it.
gestures, all of these things count. So you have to assess yourself in these two levels. This is what I prefer. And this is how I assess my learners. I ask them to do some tasks, record their videos, and send to me. And after that, a good half an hour is spent on every student every week. And I just look at that and I just mute them and I look at how they're speaking. I do all of that. So this is my way of doing it. And even I took it from somewhere, just to be clear.
Got it. So I now
Yeah.
even recall this sentence. I was just watching a video of graduate Stanford business GSP and the professor called Matt Abraham. He was
Okay.
mentioning the same thing. Probably he could, I mean, he might have get it somewhere else, or he might have, you know, also
Perhaps I may have, that can be a possibility. Hmm.
correct, 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 correct. So, I mean, the psychology behind this practice is something wherein you can see yourself by matching your body language and your voice tonality. Because I have read it somewhere, correct me if I'm wrong, that in your whole communication, your words only plays up to 10% role. Majority
That's
of the
absolutely,
role has been played by
yeah.
your. body
Mm.
language and some other external factors. So I believe by this practice we can actually assess that are we actually matching up that label wherein my body is synchronizing with the word. That is the psychology behind this.
Absolutely. The thing that you've just shared, it reminds me a lot of an interview that I watched of Javed Akhtar. I
Yeah.
wish I had kind of Urdu and the expertise that he has in languages. I don't think I have even an inch of what he has. But yes, I wish I could imitate the entire thing and say it in his own style. But I will just try to summarize what he had said. He said that vocabulary is bricks in your entire communication building. So the building is your communication,
Mm-hmm.
and the bricks are the vocabulary. But the sense of grammar, the sense of correctness, I don't want to say that I'm a grammar Nazi, but it matters. You should know arth ka anarth can happen if you just use one thing at the wrong place.
Correct.
So you don't want to get into that circle, vicious circle of being wrong time and again. So I really liked this statement that was said by Javed Akhtar Saab, where he mentions this clearly that I prefer vocabulary, but vocabulary is just the bricks in your building.
Hmm.
The structure is your sense of accuracy. The structure is your sense of emotion.
Got it.
I most of the times, many of my learners who are already fine with their grammar, they say, Vipul, I'm fine, I'm good enough. Now I should move ahead. I say, all right, yes, move ahead. But going ahead, you have to be your own trainer. And you have to understand if your heart is dissatisfied after having said three sentences to explain a small thing, you should remain dissatisfied and you should work on how to compress your language further. So many people say, I'm fine with grammar. My sentences are coming fine. Everything is going fine now. Am I a good communicator? I say, no, not good enough, because now comes the point where you have to think words, sentences, and whatever is coming out of your mouth. It's just like fuel in your car. If you have to go from Nainital to Delhi,
Mm-hmm.
you know that you have to cover 300 odd kilometers or more than that. I'm not sure about the exact distance. But if you know there is one more route which will take you the same place
Mm-hmm.
by spending, by at least covering 500 kilometers, you would call that route vague, because you can cover the same distance,
Correct.
you can reach the same destination with 300 kilometers as well within less amount of time. So I know that I have to use my words like fuel in my car. I can't just, because this is the difference between spoken English and communication skills. In
Correct.
spoken English, teachers tell you speak as much as you want, speak, speak, speak. It's good enough until a certain point. When you are working on your professional journey, don't speak a lot. The more you speak is the less you say, like I said in the beginning. So use less words and try to say more with it. How will you say it? Your body will say it, your
Correct.
eyes will say it, your gestures will say it, your movement will say it, everything conveys. I listened to something that Acharya Prashant said in one of his podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm again, whoever I'm quoting, I'm not a devotee of anyone, by the way. So I just want to tell you, I pick up good things from different people. So he said a really interesting thing. He said that people talk about detachment these days. Don't you see? Everyone speaks about
Oh
detachment.
yes.
They
Mm.
say detach from this, detachment. It's impossible to detach. The time you're born, when you are settled in that stroller or in that crib, you just reach out to something as an infant. You want to touch something. You want to get in touch with something. You want to attach with something. The whole
Correct.
life is about attach. No man is an island, it is said. We are humans. We have to connect with others. So the best way to practice is to connect more and be shameless. You have to be shameless when you're improving.
True.
That's how
True.
it is.
Lovely. I'm loving the conversation. However, I was
Thank you.
thinking to just go in the direction of professional communication, but I really got a lot of things out of that too. Though we will come to
Sorry.
that point again to
I'm
the
sorry I'm
professional.
digressing your topic.
No problem.
Please
I
go.
was just trying to hit the point wherein we can learn most out of this conversation. I believe the learner who are watching this should at
Mm,
least take one simple step out of this conversation so that they can implement from today. Because, to be honest, people, I had been also training people from last 2.5 years by my own journey and understanding one
great.
thing. People read a book, people do whatever it takes, but once it comes to taking action, what literally would change them in something, they lack,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So action and then
That's
consistency is what the two major aspect of improvement. However,
yes, yes.
I would
Mm,
like to understand one point from you, Vipul, that communication, we talked about communication, we talked about spoken English thing, the differentiation and other stuff. The next steps
mm,
comes wherein we try to connect with the people by a story, as you mentioned in between that we actually connects and that's where the real communicational and it happens. So tell me a bit about that, how someone can improve their storytelling and they can connect
mm.
better so that they can communicate better in very less time or less sentences.
Hmm. 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 It depends who they are speaking with. So considering if I am a manager, I
Mm-hmm.
get a lot of people have 10, 15 years of experience in their field and they just want to be a good manager. They want to be a great team leader.
Uh-huh.
If we are talking about that gentry where they want to inspire a few people,
Okay.
they need their employees to be in awe of them, right? They want that. So when I want that kind of thing, then I should not think about how many sentences I'm saying because inspiration requires a little more number of sentences.
Correct.
So if we are talking from that perspective, um, one thing that I've seen is many people have a very lame way of starting their conversations. Say, like I have a few topics on my right hand side. Right before this conversation, I was speaking with someone. I think it will become more generic if I just share something that I did in the previous session just now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said to this guy, he is a product owner in a very famous organization, sits at a very significant position at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and has worked with some of the biggest names. Now he comes to me and says, Vipul, I want to work on my storytelling skills. I said, all right, you want to inspire your juniors? He said, yeah, I want to do that. All right. I gave him a topic like this: the office rumor. Tell a story about a rumor that spread in a workplace and how it affected people. I was reading it from the right hand side.
Okay.
So he had to describe about a time when an office rumor spread and something wrong happened. Okay. Now, the way people start, like, what is the general way in which people start? They say, Vipul, 5 years back, this happened. So this, you
Correct.
lose me there, right?
Right.
You and I, when we create content, at least when I create content for short-term content, real, the mistake I used to make was I just thought of adding value. You
True.
have to catch your student first. If you don't catch your student, how will they wait for the value that will come later in my reel? So in
Correct.
those 30 seconds, I have to catch and then I have to teach. I have to wrap that person and say, meet you the next time. This
Hmm.
is what my ideology is
True.
behind content creation and to catch people. The same happens. You have to hook your audience. The same happens at your workplace. Even if you're speaking to your boss or you're speaking to your subordinates, the first 3 or 5 seconds have to be such that you can catch them. The same hook cannot be used with your superior and subordinates.
Hmm.
Different hooks have to be there.
Obviously.
Your superiors want you to come to the point. That's a different question. But when you're inspiring your subordinates, at that time, you have to start at least in a little out of the box manner. You have to think differently. Like if I had to talk about an office rumor, um, Vipul, you have made me walk down the memory lane. I would start from here. I would not say 5 years back this happened. That's a turn down for me. Right?
Hmm.
That's a big turn off. I
Yep.
would not even listen to that person later because I would yawn. I would get zoned out after a moment. And then people think my team is not good enough. The team is fine. Never blame students. Blame the teacher. The teacher is not competent enough. The reels are more interesting. That is why the students are yawning in your class. Had you been interesting enough, they would have not even thought of the last reel they watched at home, isn't
Makes
it?
sense. Correct.
So I think it's all about teachers. I don't blame them. I just say that they need to pull up their socks. They
Got
need
it.
to tighten their belts and they have to do better. The same happens with superiors. When you are
Hmm.
trying to inspire people, start extraordinary. Perhaps start with a question. If your subordinate asks you that, XYZ person was trying to influence me, what should I do in this? Instead of answering their question, because you are in their trap when you answer their question, it's better that you ask them a question in the beginning. And you can do that with your subordinates. With
True.
superiors, it's a different story,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
There you have to be relatively softer because they expect that. And I'm not even talking about buttering or sycophancy. No, I'm talking about just being kinder to everyone. But yes, you can take a chance with your subordinate. You can't do that with your superior. With superiors, you have to cut to the chase. You have to come to the point. Yet, if you're meeting someone for a performance appraisal meeting, most of the times people come to me and ask me questions that, Vipul, my performance appraisal is going on. What should I do? So I tell them, make yourself better at storytelling. And when it comes to storytelling, then you have to start extraordinary. You can't start ordinary and lose the person within the first 5 seconds. So the start matters a lot. Creating some suspense is crucial in storytelling.
Hmm.
Okay.
For example.
Character building is of utmost importance at storytelling.
Hmm.
Because if I just say, there's a guy in my office and this happened and that happened, by the end of it, I don't even remember the name of that guy. So what is the point? When I discuss you, I should remember you with your name. There's a
True.
reason that in the beginning of our session today, I said a lot of times the same word. I said Anshuman, Anshuman. Why did I do that? Because I don't want to come to a point where I forget your name. We
Hmm.
meet so many people. You will forget my name after a few days. I will forget your name if I don't revise your name. So I
Oh.
said it at least 4 to 5 times. If you check the recording, you'll find I did it intentionally 4 to 5 times in the beginning so that I can get your name, and I get it every time. When you summon someone by their name, they are more receptive, right?
Hmm.
They are more receptive when you summon them by your name. There is a responsibility in them when you summon them by their name.
Correct.
So storytelling also is about character building. Don't just give characteristics, name the person, make it more believable. Stories are also lies, and efficacy of a lie relies on the details, how detailed your lie is. And I'm not saying be a liar, but you have to add some spices here and there at times.
Got it.
So that is to be detailed. You can't really risk on that. All the movies that you watch, you love them.
Yeah.
Rockstar was a great movie. People liked it, but it's all fiction. It's all a lie. So
Got it.
we
So
need to
starting
know
with
how.
hook you
Yeah,
mentioned, and then also
hope.
giving
Yeah,
attention to details so that people can actually get a picture in their mind that
yeah.
what is going on.
And constantly keep creating some suspense by asking questions like, "And do you know what happened next? And you know what did I do after that?" So this creates curiosity in the mind of the person because
Hmm.
you are giving the high value package only at the end of your story. For example, I do a lot of dilemma based questions with my learners when I have to make them better at storytelling. Okay.
Okay.
Again, I use a lot of chat GPT and other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but many trainers really shy out of saying that they use chat GPT and other things. I say it outrightly. I don't mind. I think we are stupid if we don't use it. So
Correct.
say if there's something like integrity versus job security,
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving a situation to my learner. You discover your manager has been fudging performance numbers in reports sent to leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Reporting it could cost you your job. What do you do? Would you report it to your higher authorities, or would you just keep mum and just let it be? Now here the best answer is to choose one out of the two, and there is no right answer, right?
Correct.
There is no right.
Correct.
I will judge a person if he says I'll keep mom, I'll keep my job. All right. Yeah, perhaps even I would do that. Who does not want to keep a job?
Correct.
And I don't think anybody would be so righteous in saying I will go to the management. Perhaps we'll go for a middle ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do you approach that middle ground? Don't reveal your best value in the first line. First of all, start with reason. There's something called point reason example.
Mm-hmm.
I ask my learners when they're into storytelling, I tell them to flip it and start with example, come to the reason, and then give your point at the end. Because people are waiting for that yes or no. Don't give that yes or no in the first second. Why will they listen to the rest of the story? They'll only listen to the rest of the story when you give some example in the beginning, follow it up with the reason to support your story, and then give the point. That's what they're waiting for.
Correct.
So make them wait. That is how you create suspense in a story. That's what my
Interesting.
feeling is. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, that is pretty much to learn. I believe that not in only in professional world. Probably if you can tell better stories while talking to an individual, they would connect better, and they can actually get more sense wherein you can able to
Yeah.
connect and you can communicate better, right? Cool,
Absolutely.
cool, cool, cool. Anyways, we are already been covered up more than 35 minutes. I don't believe that how time flies. I do have tons of questions. Probably we'll sit again to discuss on a very particular topic, interestingly, on
Whenever you wish to. I-
professional communication is specific to storytelling and few are other things which are there being structurized training because I actually wanted to make the conversation valuable for the learners who are watching this video and probably I believe that you would able to give that time so that learner would get to learn. Anyways, before
I
even
hope even this one has been valuable enough.
exactly. It is. It is. That's why, like, I have set the agenda initially, though I deviated. I asked the question because I don't wanted to break the flow and I just wanted to get most out of that. But
Yeah, yeah.
even before wrapping up this, people, I would like to know your personal one lesson of your out of your life in communicational aspect. What do you feel is very important? What people are missing these days, and they should at least inculcate that simple thing out of this video so that they would be a better communicator.
That's a toughie. Because to pick one out of so many, and I don't want to sound redundant by saying record yourself, record yourself, record yourself. I think uh, over a period of time, people should know that they do not have to rely on a speaking partner or a trainer. Now, before I kick my own job, let me tell you something.
Yep.
See, my ideology, whenever I speak with someone for the first time, they want sessions. I tell them we'll go for 3 to 6 months, not more than that initially. There are people who have been with me for the last few years and they enjoy speaking because they feel it's just like going to the gym for them because they do not have a lot of time to spend on their own. So they pay me something every month and they want to have sessions with me. All right, we go for sessions. Coming to what people can do at home
Mm-hmm.
is to understand once they are done. I'm sorry, are you there?
Yeah, yeah. Just wait a minute. I think there is a power connection cut.
Yeah. It's like I was speaking with a ghost until now.
Yes, people. Hope you are there.
All right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm ready. Why not? Yeah. So the time is running. I'll just cut it short. I was just trying to tell you that everyone should go for a professional course. Whatever fits to their budget, whatever fits in their pocket, they should go for it. And when they learn, they should try learning from the trainer
Mm-hmm.
how to become their own trainer in the next 6 months. If they can learn that much from their trainer, they
Mm-hmm.
are getting the worth of every penny they pay. Do not go for anyone, be it a speaking partner or a trainer, who tells
Correct.
you we need to connect forever. Don't make that mistake. Go for someone who can make you your own trainer in the next 3 to 6 months, and it is possible. And one more thing, because there are many things in my mind right now, to pick one is really difficult. Just a little tip, because people feel they have to be 100% correct. No, they don't have to be. We are not native speakers. I think I should say it. We cannot be 100% correct. We can be 95, 97% correct. I have seen the best of the speakers ending up making mistakes. It's all right. We can improve upon pronunciations completely. We can
Mm-hmm.
improve upon mother tongue influence completely. We can sharpen our body language. We can do everything, but accuracy will remain at 85, 90. Accept that fact and live with it, because it's not our native tongue. So that's a harsh truth, but I'm sharing it with you. I hope people will listen to it and will stop chasing correctness. Reach there, but after some time, you have to just put a tap on it and you have to work on other skills as well, not just correctness. So that's my tip.
Got it. Got it. So, I mean, wherever you are, understand that, accept that, improve, improvise, go for the next.
That's
Don't chase
yeah.
perfection. Got it. Got it. Lovely.
And
Lovely.
emotion.
Mm-hmm.
What's the most important part is emotion. What you want to say, are you delivering or not? If you're
Understood.
not, rephrase.
Got
That's
it.
that.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Thank you so much, people, for this wonderful insight. Would like to
It
have
was
one more
lovely.
conversation soon. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, sure. We can plan it whenever you want.
All right. So, thank you again for this wonderful
Take
conversation.
care
Probably we can connect soon.
of the
Okay.
great work you're doing.
Bye bye.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.